Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another one of these awesome Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay casts. It is always fun to do these matches, no matter who's playing. A game of Starcraft 2 is just a beautiful thing, whether it's a couple of bronzies all the way to the top of the mountain. But yeah, we are on the map Death Aura today. In the top left, we have got a frequent flyer as far as my casting goes. His name's Dream. He represents Brave Star Gaming, and he is a very good Korean Terran. At a time, was probably considered the best Terran in the world, or maybe he's been up there basically. And yeah, Dream. He's always fun to watch. He's been playing a lot lately, and yeah, it's just good to see him. He represents Brave Star Gaming. You can see in his clan tag there. Always a shout out to the teams that support our boys. But yeah, now we take a look here on Team GP. It's Prince. Prince might be a name you're not too familiar with as far as StarCraft 2 goes. If you follow the pro scene, you gotta look pretty closely at the pro scene to see this guy. He hasn't had massive tournament results. He hasn't played in the GSL a lot or things like that. But he is a very good player. He's one of the competitive players, but isn't at the very top. That being said, he has shown us some good games. I think he played versus like Maru or some other good Terrans in the GSL. And that's why I thought, you know what, I'll cast a Dream versus Prince match. For starters, we've got Dream being a jerk, going for an eBay block on Prince's side of the map. Then just scouting out, seeing what he's doing. Prince just elects to take his third base as at his Nexus, as opposed to just try and bother with that eBay block. There's multiple different approaches to dealing with this. Personally, I'm in the camp of kill the eBay, pull the probes, kill the eBay, business as usual. Not that that's super easy to do. You got to get the probe right away. But yeah, let's take a look here. Dream behind this is probably going to be going for that Hellion expand build. It allows you to get out 4 Hellions for a drop very quickly, but then also get up a command center at very reasonable timing. So that's exciting. And ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy this kind of StarCraft 2 content, go ahead, hit that like button. And if you want to be the real boss, go ahead and leave a comment about what race you think is OP right now. No, don't do that. Go ahead and let me know whether pineapple belongs on pizza or not. That seems to be the one to get everyone involved. It's like the most wholesome argument people can have. But yeah, let's take a look here. We've got the Adept coming across the map for Prince. Gonna be attacking this SCV. Looks like he will get it, which is very nice, delaying the expansion of Dream. Dream has got his Marine that can try and work away on this Adept. Won't be able to do much unless these 2 Hellions help out, which they do, but then the problem for Dream is that a second Adept shows up for Prince. Looks like the one Adept has actually been picked off, however, and so with good micro, Dream should be able to clean up both these Adepts, and that is considered a pretty big loss for Prince. Losing those 2 Adepts like it's nothing. He manages to get the 1 Hellion, doesn't manage to delay the CC more. I really like the attempt from Prince at doing that, but it just didn't work out for him. Maybe he should have pulled his initial Adept back sooner, and then gone in with the 2 Adepts, which could have won the fight against the Hellions. But if we do take a look now, things are really going to be getting turned around on Prince. He's going to have to go up against the Hellion drop, which is very common in the meta right now, and he probably knows is coming. That doesn't make it easy to stop. So we see Prince. He's trying to cover all his bases, literally, by getting a shield battery at his third base, getting a nice wall up so the Hellions can't dart around the left side of this base. He's got Adept's position where the Hellions would be likely to drop. He's got a Phoenix, which finds the Medivac, which is a very good start. Oracle can activate its Pulsar Beam to help pick off these Hellions as quickly as possible. So really, really good find for Prince, pardon me. Shutting down this drop, the Hellions have no choice but to unload. They're going to head towards the third base location. There is the battery that's helping out. 5 Hellions charging on in here. Phoenix lifts up one of the Hellions. Adept's trying to chase down the others. Dream is getting some damage done, but I don't believe this was enough damage to justify the attack that he went for. That was just like 5 Hellions he lost, and he only killed 2 probes in that attack. That was a marvelous shutdown for Prince. A really solid defense, seeing as how some Protoss lose monstrous amounts of probes and then just lose the game. That was really, really good for him. Now Prince is going to throw up another gateway, throw up a robo behind this. I imagine he'll probably play 3 bases because I don't think we see a lot of 2 bases happen when you're basically just forced to take your 2 base as your third. But that would actually be a bit of a sneaky play. I doubt Dream would be expecting aggression, and he's really not, as he's thrown up a 3rd base. He's getting up a siege tank. He's got some Marines. But he is just focused on that economics, getting up a 3rd base before Prince has got up his own 3rd. Prince, though, is going to be looking to take his 3rd, so the game will continue on, and we will be having ourselves a macro match, which is always exciting. If the game does go into macro here on Death Aura, I do favor Dream, as he is the more experienced player, but can't write Prince off. We'll see what he's going to bust out. He's getting into a Robo right now. That's going to be his follow-up choice. And yeah, let's take a look here, as there is a couple of eBays on the way for Dream, getting up his barrack. The Terran production takes quite a bit of time to get online, but once it's going, it goes hard if you're good at macroing, and Dream is someone who's very good at macroing. We see Dream, he's been churning out a few Vikings just to ensure he's got some adequate anti-air. Yeah, he's got 2 Vikings to deal with these Phoenix. The Phoenix and Oracle are going to come on in, though. There is 2 Vikings and some Marines. That is enough to shoo Prince away, so Prince not getting any damage done. I do like the attempt, though. Gets a revelation on leaving. And Prince, we'll see if he's going to be playing that Robo Colossus style. As, I mean, he's got the Robo done, and there's a Colossus on the way, so that kind of answers that. What I meant to say was the Robo Phoenix style, which is like primarily Colossus Phoenix. He has stopped at 4 Phoenix, however, and he is getting up a Twilight Council at a rather reasonable time. So we'll see if he's going to get Charge or Blink out of this. I imagine Charge, and yeah, there it is. That's actually kind of cool to see. Prince just going to be relying on those Colossus to get the damage done, the Zealots to buffer. A very strong composition, to say the least. And yeah, the game's just going to continue on. The Protoss player got his 3rd base up and mining. Prince is going to want to saturate that as well as he can, as quickly as he can, all the while just trying to keep a bit of pressure on Dream. And I really do like what Prince has done. He's got an Observer hanging out over the natural so he can see the move out. He had a Stasis ward cutely placed. Cutely, is that a word? Cutely placed? I don't know. But just keeping Dream on his toes a little bit. And so we do see Dream keeping tanks on the high ground, worried of a potential attack. And there very well could be an attack coming in his future, as Prince does indeed have 5 more gateways on the way. He's getting up a 2nd Colossus, and we could potentially see an attack with just Charge Lots and Colossus. I'm not sure that that would be the best move, but it could very well be a move that's done. Dream loses a couple of SCVs to Prince's Phoenix, which is quite nice. Then Prince does elect to throw up the 4th base, so he is just going to macro up. Yeah, he's not required to go for an all-in by any means. He's now getting a Prism, so he wants to go for some harassment. He's getting up an extra Forge, so we'll be able to have both his upgrades going at a time, which I do like. A Templar Archives, all that jazz coming on the way for him. And if this was like a few years ago, I'd say the Protoss is probably going to win this game 9 times out of 10. However, the Terran in the late game has really, really developed, and I know I've said this quite a bit because I don't get to cast that much Starcraft. But yeah, it is really exciting to see Protoss in the late game versus Terran these days. And even Terrans at my level have gotten better. Like, I've been playing ladder games, I've been messing about, going for the usual sort of play, and it is harder to play the late game than it used to be for Protoss. Not that I'm complaining, because I also play Terrans, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword for me. We see Concussive Shell is now on the way for Dream. We see +1, 2-1 on the way for the Protoss player. Extra Robo on the way. Eventually the Protoss will want to add in Disruptors because the Terran will get counters to the Colossus. For now, though, there's actually not many Vikings on the way for Dream, so he's not going hard into the counters for the Colossus, which is actually really good for the Protoss player. If the Terran neglects that, that's arguably a big mistake. And so the fact that Dream isn't going for that is something that I find quite odd. There is now Gravitic Drive on the way, so that Prism will be extra speedy. Prince, by the way, has been doing a very good job this game, continuously revelating the Terran force. Alright, a large amount of Zealots have been warped in for Prince, some that are probably planning to run towards the 3rd when possible, some heading towards the main and the Prism, but that Prism's going to have to wait for its day, seeing as how Dream's got a lot of Marines, he's got a turret in position to help deal with this. The Oracle's still alive, getting constant revelations on the Terran army. That's got to be a bit of a pain for Dream. And both these players are just playing incredibly passive and macroing up. I mean, look at this. Prince is getting up a 5th base, but barely anything has died this game. There was that attempted Hellion drop at the start, and then both these guys have just been sitting back. Prince is like, I'm gonna macro up and kill you, and Dream's like, not if I macro up and kill you harder. And so these guys are gonna be facing off in the late game, and one of these guys is arguably gonna be wrong. Like, one of these guys has to be wrong, that the other player is actually better than them in the late game, or that their race is better in the late game, depending on how they play. And we'll find out who it's gonna be, at least in this game anyway, as Prince does have that 5th base, getting up cannons and shield batteries there. I love it, seeing as how the Protoss is building up a large bank, but now Dream is looking to push on out. He's got the Ghosts, he's got the tanks, he's got the bio, he's got only 4 Vikings against 3 Colossus, which is something that I'd consider a bit of a mistake. We see a Zealot drop into the main base of the Terran, though, gonna pull him completely back. A nice move by Prince. Some Zealots ran towards the 3rd base, gonna kill off a few SCVs. Not too much damage, as Dream has got himself a nice wall done, and he did have quite a bit of static defense to slow this down, but still, very cute play. It did look like that, wait, where'd the Prism go? Is that recalled? Did the Prism get brought home? Yes, it did. Prince recalled the Prism in order to keep it alive, which is a cute move, knowing that the Vikings would have hunted it. 2-2's about to finish for Dream. The Protoss player has got his armor on the way as well, so the players will be even on upgrades for now. I would like to see the attack upgrade start for Prince soon. Should be that 3-2 coming away. Chrono boosted out. You can get an upgrade lead against the Terran for a moment. He's getting up a fleet beacon though, so maybe thinking of getting into carriers or a mothership at least. Looks like the Protoss player going for a bit of a surround though. Tossing out Novas. He's got these Zealots that are just going to try and intercept reinforcements. The problem is there's a lot of reinforcements, but oh, Dream overstims those Marines a little bit, taking quite a bit of damage. He's now pushed towards the front of the Protoss, but the Terran has got to push in slowly, using the tanks, because the Disruptors will punish you if you just charge in. The Zealots are hitting this 4th base. They're not actually going to kill much, though, because it is a PF. So, Prince not getting too much done with those Zealots, but it definitely has taken a lot of the attention of the Terran player. 3-2 is now on the way for the Protoss, while Dream is trying to make this push happen. EMPs do hit the Protoss army fantastically, really taking a lot of the HP off this, but Prince says this is my moment as he moves in, lifting up the tanks with the Phoenix. Great usage of those units. The Colossus are standing strong as there's just not that many Vikings, and this was a really, really good fight for the Protoss player. One of the Colossus goes down to the Vikings, but Dream definitely lost more in that fight. He's lost some SCVs while this is going on. The Protoss player holds on to his 5th base. Really, really well done by Prince. Now, Prince is going a little bit odd here as he starts up 1 carrier. He's going to need some more Stargates. There we go, getting up to 3, as that's generally what you want when making carriers. But yeah, carriers against Terran are no joke. I definitely think that it is still a strong style that Protoss players often sleep on. And I mean, just because some Terrans just wreck Protoss who go carriers, we'll see if that's going to be the case this game or not. I really, really, really do want to see +1 attack start, though, for Prince on this. There's no excuse for not doing that if he's going carriers. You need the attack upgrades. Otherwise, the carriers do nothing to the bio. So he's got to start those upgrades for them. We see the Protoss player repositioning as Force, maybe suspecting this drop from Dream. He's got quite a lot of Stalkers, actually a huge amount of Stalkers, 17 to deal with this bio. I don't know if this attack is going to work out at all for Dream. He hits an EMP on the Stalkers. The Stalkers could potentially chase this away, but Prince just saying, just back off, guy. Just back off. Prince has now got out the 1 carrier. He's now making a couple more, but yeah, we really do need to see the +1 attack. Otherwise, that could punish Prince hard, I think. Dream scans, sees the carriers on the way. He's going to be happy realizing that. We'll probably see a couple more starports go on, as that's what Terrans usually do to deal with this. Starports? No. Factories for Dream. So maybe thinking Widow Mines, thinking Thors. There's the +1 on the way. I was hampering on that for valid reasons, and so it is good to see Prince start that up. The Terran player's starting to push in towards the 3rd base. The Protoss needs to toss out some Novas. Dream actually going for a very big surround on this army. A lot of the force of Prince is actually just going to get picked off. Prince really not having adequate defense here, not without those Stalkers defending the 5th base. He's just going to lose a lot of his economy, and lose all of his Disruptors. That was a big loss for the Protoss. We're going to see Prince just go for a big DT Warpin to try and counter this. I'm unsure if that was the play though. Some of these DTs are gonna go this way, some are gonna go this way. I'm not sure if Prince is gonna use them to fight the army. I think he is. Just wait for a chance to blink on top of this force to help clean it. And this could work out for Prince, seeing as how Dream's splitting up his army. The DTs are getting on top of this force. Is Dream paying attention? Yes, he is, but Prince is not joining this up at the appropriate time. If he had gone in when those DTs were, he would have been able to crush that army, but now, all of a sudden, half the bio is in his main base. He didn't deal with that force outside his third easily. And Dream's even at the fourth base, or the third base of Prince. And so all of a sudden, the Protoss player has got a lot to deal with that's going on right now. He's pushing away the army from his third and his fourth, but the main base is being uncontested right now. This drop with the Ghosts, with the Marauders picking off critical tech, the Stargates have gone down. There's the Dark Shrine going down. DCs have been warped in, but they get scanned and EMP'd by Dream. And just the Protoss player is really starting to fall apart right now. Prince has got a large bank. He can warp in a ton of Zealots and stuff, but he loses his Templar Archives. He loses just everything that he needed to stay alive in this game, and the Protoss player takes big losses. He's not out of this game just yet, but these were massive, massive losses. Stalker's trying to get on top of this army. A lot of it will be cleaned up, but Dream behind this is looking good. I mean, he's on 5 bases, whereas he's canceled the Protoss 5th base, so Prince had to expand to the left side, but that's not really mining. Prince has got a pretty good bank, but it's not that good of a bank. In order to replace all of his tech, he needs to build a new Dark Shrine, needs to build new Templar Archives, repower these gateways. The Protoss player is in a big state of disarray. These carriers are going to pick off some of these units, but they do only have that +1 attack. Look how slowly they actually kill off those Protoss units. We need to see +2 attack starting during this, but I don't know if Dream or if Prince can even afford that. And so this is looking really, really tough for the Protoss player. He's got that element, which you can try and turtle up as the Protoss, rely on the big AoE, but it's not that simple for Prince to come back into this game, so he's just going to keep investing in these carriers, hope he gets a critical mass that Dream doesn't have the response to deal with, and there's a chance of that, as Dream's going for mainly Thors to help deal with this. The Thors are good against the carriers as they're so tanky, and that, I mean, their anti-air is pretty darn good, but it's still an interesting choice by Dream just to go so heavily into Thors. 5 Thors for a Terran in this matchup is uncommon. However, Prince's army is still not that good. He's down on army supply overall. He's got mainly Stalkers as his ground force, which isn't great. He's got a Disruptor, which gets a pretty solid connection, and he is going to take a fight against this Protoss force. The carrier's moving forward. Interceptors are cutting up the Thors, which don't actually have any armor upgrades, which is actually a pretty good fight for Prince to Dream. Maybe separating his army up a little bit too much, as now the Protoss player's just got to deal with this drop in his main base. I think we need to see a recall from Prince. However, a really good EMP hits the Nexus, prevents that from going down by the Protoss player. The Prince has just got to fly his army back here. The carriers and Stalkers should be able to deal with this, but now we see another tech structure going down. A reattempt at the Dark Shrine being killed off. The Robo Bay getting killed off. Looks like these carriers can try and deal with this. Prince wants to try and pick off these units as they escape, but he's unable to do so. So Dream, I think things still work out for him there, as the Protoss player's main base is just in disarray. Prince now trying to get up this 5th base. It gets EMP'd. I mean, the cannons are going to be canceled. That's just not happening for the Protoss. Dream's response to the carriers is still an interesting one, I feel, at this point. He's going for Ghosts, for nukes. He's going for more Thors and things, but I feel as if at this point, if he did start going into Vikings, that he would just be able to clean this force. We'll see, though, as Dream has really been playing this out really well so far. The 3 Thors, I don't care if it's the best or not, which I honestly don't know, but as far as 3 Thors go, that's pretty awesome to see. A nuke gonna hit this base. Prince does at least react to that, but then there's a nuke hitting his other base, and the Protoss player really can't take hits to his economy like this. I think he sees the Ghost, he sees the nuke. Is he gonna be able to take it out, though? That nuke's gonna land, the probes run away. Looks like that nuke will scratch some of the carriers. There is a fight going on right now, though, that's actually going pretty darn well for the Protoss, pushing Dream away. This was part of the problem for Dream, that he didn't actually have an answer to the carriers still. But boy, oh boy, is the Protoss economy in shambles. I mean, it's just been ahead for Dream for like the past 5 minutes, which is not good at all. Prince is barely hanging on. Eventually, Dream, though, will just be able to roll over this. Like, he could throw up 3 starports right now and just turn out Vikings. I don't think Vikings are the best response to this, but anything at this point really will work for Dream, as long as he doesn't just Doesn't just make a bad ground army and attack into them. Prince barely mining this game. He's on a rather low economy. He's rebuilding his Dark Shrine just now, but Dream's been relentless with his drops and things. Fleet Beacon is still alive. Nuke gonna be hitting this base to the left-hand side. Is Prince gonna be able to deal with this? He's warped in some zealots. That ghost was inside of the cannon, so the nuke will be cancelled. That was an absolute must for Prince. He's just been hanging on. Hanging on. Mass Thors and nukes. Mass Thors and nukes against Protoss. That is just a big old amount of Thors we see right there from Dream. Dream's now splitting up his army, gonna hit basically the last mining base of Prince. EMPs help the static defense go down quicker. Shield battery overcharge gets used, but there's really nothing to overcharge. The Protoss player's trying to split up his army to deal with this, but he gets intercepted by the Thors. He's got his zealots trying to close this, but a lot of the carriers have gone down, and I don't know if there's gonna be enough here for Prince to hold on. Looks like he will clean most of this up, but he's taken big losses on his carrier numbers, and all these Thors are just ripping into this carrier. And oh man, the 5th base gonna go down for Prince. He's in big trouble. Big trouble. I mean, army supply is actually ahead for Prince right now as Dream traded out pretty much everything, and he's actually gonna be losing even more to this, but it's still not great. DT's blink on top will clean out this army. I think that Prince might actually have to go all in here. He's got no economy left. No economy. So he's just got to go kill Dream, and Dream has traded out a lot of his supply, but we see him even nuking literally like the last mining base that's barely mining for Prince. The Prince has got to pull the probes away from that. DT's coming in. Oh man, those DT's got to be careful. They want to take out that ghost, but it's just not going to happen for Prince. He needs to take a big fight in a big way and get some major damage done or just win the game, because otherwise it's just not going to happen. He's moving in with his army now. His DTs aren't here to help out. These DTs are coming in to hit the PF. He might be able to get the PF if Dream doesn't react, and he will actually get it, so that's a really nice move for Prince. If those SCVs had repaired in time, that PF wouldn't have gone down, but yeah, that was a good victory for the Protoss player. That's where a potential comeback could start. We see Dream has already pulled SCVs to help with this. Good reaction, though, by Prince getting the DTs out of there in time. That was actually a really cool move. Or a really smart move by Dream, pulling the SCVs ahead of time, realizing the DTs will just head towards the next base. Prince got damage done, yes, but it wasn't enough damage to make this work. And so he's still in a very rough spot. He's only got 5 carriers. 5 carriers is not enough to take on 5 Thors, guys, when there's all the Terran bio underneath as well. The DTs are hanging out at this 3rd base location, but the problem is, this nexus that Prince has established, it's within the circle. It's within the sensor tower, so the answer is yes, Dream knows about this base without a doubt. Yeah, Prince is trying to get his economy back online, making 5 probes at a time. The DT is still hanging out for Prince. I think Dream knows that he's got this game at this point. The way he's playing it out is an interesting choice, though. I mean, the mass Thors, the nukes, it's an interesting style, that's for sure. The carrier is now moving across the map, looking for whatever they can get. Dream is, Prince is trying to get some damage done. He tries to get the command center. He does actually get the CC, but it costs him all of his DTs. Yeah, Prince is trying to keep his economy going. Meanwhile, Dream's got a drop moving out, but there's just nothing to actually drop over here. It's all on this base here for Prince. If Dream got any amount of units here to harass it, he'd just be able to go stomp it. DTs are getting on top of those Marines and the Ghosts. They do run away from the Marines. Zealots come in now to help out. Nothing actually to punish that Medivac, so the units get away. And now as we see Dream pushing in towards the 5th base of Prince, I think that's it. That's checkmate for the Protoss player. It was a noble attempt by Prince. He hung on. It was a really exciting game. Dream with the most Thors I've seen in a TvP in years, I feel. Nuke even going down, just nukes and Thors versus Protoss. Really cool to see by Dream. Dream really just flexing now, throwing up turrets, establishing his tanks. He probably wants to take this base next, just to flex on Prince a little bit. Prince is going to go in for an attack. He blinks on top of the army with his DTs. The carriers are moving forward. It's actually a very close fight, seeing as how Disruptors cut up a lot of the Thors, but it's not going to be enough. That was actually a crazy last engagement for Prince, but in the end, Dream was able to take it. Well played to the Terran player. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed that match, make sure to go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and consider becoming a member if you do want to toss a couple bucks my way. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. This has been LaughNgamez. Take care.